activism.com.
Activism begins with ACT. The Russ Belville Show features the stories of hardworking grassroots activists working for an end to prohibition in today's activist agenda.
All right, welcome back, everybody. 30 after the hour. We're at the bottom of the hour, and joining us here by telephone is Sean McAllister, the Executive Director for Dallas-Fort Worth NORML. How you doing, Sean?
Howdy doody, Russ Belville. Thank you so much for having me on here at the last minute.
Hey, yeah, man. Howdy doobie to you as well. And just so you know, for the picture, I got up you and Andra and Cannabis Carry in front of the Goonies sign.
Ah, hooray, from Maria 2014. By far my favorite trip I have yet to go on in this cannabis journey that I'm now on as an activist.
Yeah, we decided, Carrie and I decided that she's got this pretty boss place up in Astoria, and we thought, wouldn't it be nice, you know, because we get to meet all these people around the country when we go to Dallas or Atlanta or all these places that we go for marijuana reform, but we're always so busy because we're putting on an event or a press conference or a conference or something, and we never get a chance to just hang out. And so we decided to form something called Maria, the Marijuana Activist Retreat in Astoria. And we invited up Big Daddy Fink and his girlfriend Michelle, and we invited up from Atlanta, and then we invited up Sean and Andra from Dallas-Fort Worth. Had ourselves a great time, saw the Goonies house. Andra was a huge Goonies fan, so that was definitely a lot of fun. Thank you for doing that with us.
Yeah, man, I am so honored to have been a part of that. That was by far a life-changing trip. I mean, here in Texas, you know, we have no sensible marijuana policy of any kind. So anytime somebody like myself can go to a place that just has sensible marijuana policy, medical marijuana programs, for example, I mean, it is just very eye-opening experience, and it's just all the more motivation that we need to just continue this fight here in the Lone Star State.
Now, we're going to talk about the marijuana march that's happening. Before we do, I just want to get a little update in since we're talking about Texas, and that is the case of Jacob Lavaro. I read that he took a plea deal for 7 years probation for his pot brownie case. Can you tell us any more?
You know, I've sort of been keeping an eye on this case. I mean, the thing is, there's a whole lot of cases just like this going on in Texas that we hear about. That's the one that gets all the headlines. You know, I'm glad that he's not actually facing life in prison, which I think a lot of us knew he really wasn't. It just kind of made for a really good headline to piss people off and bring awareness about this. But I'm glad that he's not going to see actual prison time for this. I mean, we all know it's ridiculous to throw a teenager in jail and ruin their life over a pan of marijuana brownies. I mean, that is a ridiculous use of a law, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Now, to try to change that law, DFW NORML has been very, very active in public demonstrations and making sure that the people know that there are cannabis consumers out there. We're not invisible and we're not going away. Your latest event is tomorrow. You're doing a march, so give people the details on that.
So about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, we were sitting around at a DFW NORML board meeting, and we kind of decided, maybe last minute-ish, that we wanted to try to hold another public demonstration before the elections. We just felt like it was a really important time to try to make some waves media-wise. It would give us good leverage going into the session. And we just kind of felt like it was something that we wanted to try, even though we knew it would be a tremendous undertaking. And damn, man, it has been. I mean, we were still wrapping things up about 2 hours ago. We got a final permits, you know, and go ahead from the Dallas Police Department and the city and all this stuff. Everything finally has come together at this last minute. And the idea here is for us to get everybody together like we did back in May during the Global Marijuana March, where we had, according to the Fort Worth Police, around 3,000 people marching through the streets of Fort Worth, unpermitted, by the way. We were supposed to be on the sidewalks. There was a wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing going on when we filed for our permits, and all of a sudden we were in the streets. And with 3,000 people marching through the streets of Fort Worth, Texas woke up and realized, holy crap, there's a lot of weed smokers here, and they're loud and they're proud and they're not going anywhere, as you said. And so with this Dallas Marijuana March, we really wanted to, for one, we represent Dallas and Fort Worth as DFW Normal. So we felt like we owed it to the city of Dallas to make sure we got one in before the end of the year. But we just felt like we could do it. We were up to the challenge. We wanted to see what was possible, and we made it happen. This has by far been the most difficult permit process we've ever been through. I mean, I've got like a stack of 12 permits here, Russ, just for us to do this event. It's insane. But it's historic that we got all these permits. These permits say that the city of Dallas and the Dallas Police Department are okay with and are expecting the Dallas Marijuana March tomorrow. That is a beautiful thing, I think.
That is awesome. And, when I am talking to people and trying to motivate them in red states, in the Bible Belt, they'll often express fear that, I'm afraid to come out and protest. I'm afraid to sign a petition. I don't want to get my name on a list. I don't want retribution. I live in a small town. You guys have been doing this for a while. Has anybody out there in Texas expressed that they got retribution against them or anything for their activities in these marches?
Not that I'm aware of, Russ. Surely there may be somebody who, maybe posted a photo of them smoking a joint at the march and their boss saw it on Facebook and fired them for it, But if that happened, I don't know about it. But no, I mean, honestly, these events, people are just, they kind of develop this attitude that, not only the strength in numbers, but sort of like Charlo Green said the other day, kind of, fuck it. This is going to happen, and it's only going to happen if I get involved. And these big public demonstrations like this, I don't really think people are even so worried about what's going to happen personally to them. You want to know what the most thing people have been worried about out on this event is, Russ? Is Ebola. People are worried about Ebola at our event. And I've got people, probably a dozen people who have posted on our event page some sort of snide, thinking that they're clever comment about, hey, I'm not going because either that's a police trap or it's an Ebola trap, blah, 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 blah. So, it's kind of ridiculous that is what people, for the most part, even though we have no sensible marijuana policy in Texas, that's what people are afraid of is Ebola. They're not afraid of the Dallas Police Department coming and arresting them, for breaking the law in the open with thousands of their closest friends.
Yeah, kind of ironic since we do have a lot of scientific evidence that cannabinoids can be useful in the treatment of, being antibacterial and antiviral medications. We've got research that shows it's good against MRSA, for example, where other drugs don't seem to affect it. Wouldn't it be ironic if we discovered that, cannabis was the way to actually treat Ebola?
Yeah, and I saw that story go across the weed news wire this week, and what was it, that Dr. Allen, and I was really curious about that, and I actually posted it as DFW Normal because I thought it was, very interesting, and it sounded really smart, sounded like it, was all legit. And so what did I do? I mean, I went and asked the only person that I knew that would be totally straight with me on it and who would know a lot more about it than I ever could, and that's Dr. Mitch.
Yeah.
And so last night I just hopped on Facebook and I sent him a message late at night, and he actually responded and, kind of commented on it, and he's working on his own sort of public comment about that. But basically, told me that, that particular article was pretty much, in his words, complete bullshit.
Yeah.
And, it didn't matter that, it doesn't matter how many MDs go out and say this. We got to be careful, as you have taught me, Russ, to not further a bunch of propagandas and myths and lies. And I don't want this to be something that, people who are trying to be against us can say, I mean, these guys are so crazy now that they're saying, hey, come on, this cures Ebola now. And so I fear for that soundbite, that inevitable soundbite. And so I don't know. I'm glad that it got a lot of headlines because here in Dallas, you can't turn on the news, any news station, without it being about Ebola, period. And that's all that they're talking about here. It's insane, even though there's only been a few cases here. And so hopefully the fact that we're kind of acknowledging the whole Ebola issue with our event, I actually am about to post some guidelines for people, some tips that Dr. Mitch helped me write for minimizing your risk at, being exposed to something like this at a large gathering like we're going to have. And hopefully it'll go off without a hitch. Hopefully we won't have any issues. The only issue we've ever had at events like this is people showing up drunk and acting like an asshole.
Yeah, let's not do that, folks. Okay, so the march is tomorrow. Tell folks where they need to be, when they need to be there, and what they should bring.
Okay, so it's at Dallas City Hall. We're going to start gathering there at 1 p.m. At that time, we'll have, the first speaker, or the first band kind of go on, setting the mood for the event. Then after that, we'll have a series of speakers. There will be veterans. There will be patients. There will be activists, former law enforcement, and all different slew of people, including Dean Bortel and Alexis Bortel. Dean is the father of Alexis Bortel, a very special little girl who is our youngest marijuana activist here at DFW Normal. And they go and speak publicly about this topic. And so she's going to be coming and speaking. This is kind of her grand unveiling to come and speak in front of a large crowd. She's a 9-year-old little girl who is basically, her whole life could change if she was able to have access to medical cannabis in the state of Texas. So having her speak, we're going to have attorneys speak, and then at right around 3:30, 3:45, we're going to march from City Hall to Dealey Plaza, where JFK was assassinated. And hopefully we're going to be seeing 2, 3, 4, 5,000 people out there, passing joints back into the left like you and I were back in 2012, Russ, when there was only 200 of us out there.
Yeah, so I was going to say, folks, this is a great march route, and it's a part of history because you go there through Dealey Plaza, and it is tons of traffic, lots of people looking at you. Yeah,
tons of traffic. It's a historic area. It's a beautiful area. The weather is going to be great. So we're going to be there. The intention is for us to land at Dealey Plaza right around 4:20. We're going to have a couple of megaphone speeches at Dealey Plaza, kind of publicly be out there for about 30, 40 minutes, and then march back, conclude the festival with more speakers, music, raffle giveaways, and whatnot. It's totally free to attend. There's a ton of parking in the immediate area. You can just kind of Google the Dallas City Hall area to find all the different parking, or just go to the Dallas Marijuana March event page on Facebook, and we've got a parking map for you, and everything that you need about the event is posted there. Not to bring alcohol, obviously, not to bring glass containers, but just show up, bring your friends, get involved. It doesn't matter if you smoke or not. Come and celebrate liberty with us.
Is there any post-event at Froggy's or any place?
I'm so glad that you asked, because there is. It's not at Froggy's because we will be in Dallas and Froggy's is in Fort Worth. But we will be at Wits End starting at 7 p.m. on the roof deck. And that is a particularly friendly bar that we have held multiple DFW Normal meetings at. And they will have a cover that night, but if you say that you are there for the Dallas Marijuana March after party, you will be able to get in for free.
Oh, that's awesome. I encourage everyone in Dallas to get involved with the march, get involved with the after party, because you get to taste a little tiny bit of freedom to give you an idea what you're fighting for. Sean McAllister is the executive director of Dallas Fort Worth Normal. Check him out at dfwnormal.org. And hey, good luck on the march this weekend, and give my best to Andra and everybody out there at DFW.
Will do, man. I will totally be invoking the Russ Belville spirit when I give my speech tomorrow. Thank you for